welcome. I'm Tracy Scott, founder of the Codes and Magic Apothecary and creator of the Reinvention System. And now, podcaster. As the unconventional alchemist, I've added this to my list of things that I want to get out there into the world because my mission is big. The one I accepted when I was born was to follow my own rhythm and then teach other people how to uncover theirs. My path was challenging, and I've landed in a place where I've let go of my attachment to doing things the way others think they should be done. I honor my needs for rest and replenishment, and now I want to spend more time exploring my need for play, hence the podcast. We are connected to ancient, powerful forces that will not be extinguished. You feel it in your bones, in your blood, in your heart, in your belly, and you follow your own rhythm. You cannot be rushed or forced. You cannot be held back when it is time to burst forward. I thought it would be fun to record conversations with my friends who are also connected to these powerful forces and expressing them in exciting, modern ways. We'll experiment with all things around health and healing, and you can play with what works best for you. Take what resonates, come back for more, and I guarantee there will be a ton of laughs. Well, here we are, episode number 2. I've been waiting to record this for a very, very long time because I wanted this person to be my first guest. So as I've let you know before, what I want to do is just share conversations with my friends. Pretty unscripted. There won't be a whole lot of things that we're trying to sell to you necessarily or anything along those lines. I just want to introduce you to my friends that are doing some interesting things that you may want to tap into. So today I am so excited to introduce you to my dear friend, Tara Kinden. I don't even know how to introduce her. You just kind of have to feel her presence. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to give her a big, long introduction in that sense. I'm going to have some information down below where you can check out all her things. And what I'm going to invite you to do is just sit back and just enjoy. Don't get too caught up in the words we're using or anything like that. Just listen to what we're talking about, see how it feels. We're going to be talking about all things around the divine feminine and, always in our own unconventional way. So sit back and enjoy. All righty, let's do this. So we are on, I feel like I need to set the stage because there's a lot of people probably that are going to listen to this that it's new for us to be in this dynamic and a lot of new people to us. So it might be interesting. This is why I want to set the stage because I have the idea that this could go really weird, really sideways, really easily. And I don't want people to be freaked out by that.
Okay.
Because we have that potential to go there. So the idea is we're just going to have a conversation. I have basically one thing we're going to be talking about, and we're going to go from there because I think people need to hear what you have to say. So in preparation for this morning, I pulled a card because I just thought it would be fun. And of course, the way it always works, it's always the most perfect cards. I'm not sure how well the visual is going to come through. I don't know if you can see this. Yeah. The Queen of Wands. I just laughed when I saw it because of some things that are going on in my little inner world, but let me just read this because it's pretty amazing. And I'm going to read the reverse side of it as well too. Okay. So the Queen of Wands is a dominant creature sitting on her throne of lions. No one would accuse this bird of being demure. With a plan ready for success, the Queen of Wands often appears as bold, fearless, and determined. The Queen appreciates the potential each journey offers and takes the opportunity to learn something new about herself with every challenge. The energy of the Queen of Wands is healthy and agile as she moves through the world with a vibrant flair. With a taste for the best, this is one crow you won't find near the garbage cans as she uses her creative, quick-witted mind to discern the finer things in life. And then I like the reverse side too because I think it's going to launch us perfectly into everything that you do. When this card appears reversed, it is a sign that the Queen of Wands is lacking confidence and feeling scared that she will never live up to the potential she once felt was possible. She urges you to look deep within and ask yourself if fear is holding you back, which I thought was perfect, as it always is when I ask cards for ideas, because what I want to talk about is the rise of the divine feminine. It's a hot topic out there in some worlds, not so much in other worlds, but I think it's time for them to start hearing about it. But I want to do it in a different way because I think it gets a bad rap as well. So I would love for you to tell me what you feel about your own journey around this, because I should probably tell people too, we've been friends for quite a while, so I know a lot of things.
All the things.
So depending on how much you want to talk about your own experiences, and I want to talk about both the light and the dark of it, because we are both all about the energy, and people can get really caught up on either side and get really locked into being associated to one side and not integrating both, because that is where the magic happens.
Okay, so you're asking me to basically share about my personal journey into my divine feminine energy?
Yeah, and how you've got there, what tools you've used, and then how you're helping others do the same.
Now I know we're on a time limit, so
yes.
let me see how I can nutshell this as quickly and as efficiently as
perfectly
the most divine way.
I try not to distract you with other things.
Yeah, so I think one of the biggest things for me was acknowledging, like when I've been studying or learning about astrology for like 20 years, but I didn't really go deep into how did it actually operate. Like I'd been to readings, I knew about it, but I still didn't really get it. And then when I started integrating the human design and astrology into like my own life and my own work, it transformed everything, because I understood, like as a Libra rising person, I'm a Venus ruled person.
Right.
So Venus is everything in my life. But I had been so far on the masculine side of living, doing always in action. And I thought, oh, that's just my Sag energy, initiating and doing. But it's like, I understood more. Well, you're a manifester. You're supposed to have this big, initiating action and power about you, which, is more masculine. But as the understanding of being Venus ruled reminded me, okay, well, there needs to be the balance between these two energies. It can't always be, action, action, action. There needs to be this place of receptivity. And I didn't know how to do it. Yeah. I did not know how to do it.
Yeah. You've dragged me there kicking and screaming with your journey too. So
and it's not easy, because we're programmed, I think, especially people who are hungry in this life are curious about all the things. So we're tracking down all these different paths and we're trying different things, and we're always doing and going. But it was like, how do I sit back and just trust? Like, you hear this all the time, like, how can you just allow? How can you just be receptive? How can you just sit back and wait for all the blessings to come? But it doesn't work like that.
No, and I think it's a great question, because we don't know how it works. Most of us do not, because we've been told it's this. You do the things, you get the job, you get the education, whatever it is. You don't be a creative. So these are things that we talk about in our circles. Like, who are you to have a job as a painter or doing anything creative? Like, you're not going to pay the bills.
I just like to circle that back to receptivity. It's like, when you are in, your Venus energy, Venus vibes, like, right? Because this is the receptivity piece is Venus. It's like, how do I feel about my own self, about my own power, about my worth, about my creativity, about, like, Venus is the creative part of us, amongst other elements, but she's like the main portal to our feminine energy. So when you look to see, like, where is she sitting in my human design chart, in my astrological chart, and how am I maybe forgetting to integrate her on the daily, right? So even today, it's funny, like, we scheduled this without knowing. Venus ingressed into Sagittarius today. Well, she just wants to party. She just wants to have a good time. So, like, I'm an hour and a half late for our date, because I was like, I need to do nails and I need to do these things. And normally I would be like, no, I'll push through. I'll meet on time. I'll do the thing. And not that you should, like, be an hour and a half late to the thing.
No.
And I would have shown up if Trace was like, no, we have to do it this time because we've got other things going. But I allow myself more freedom and creativity because I trust in myself that I'm worthy enough, you know, in who I am, that it will just like, it will figure itself out, even though it may not be, you know, as regimented or perfect as that scheduled masculine energy wants me to be sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm allowing more flow and freedom, as I wish we would all allow ourselves to have.
You know, I think that's one of the biggest wishes I have for most people right now is to go, life doesn't have to be so hard. It
Yes.
really doesn't. And for me, it's been so much learning as you've, you know, incorporated these tools into what you're doing, especially the human design, astrology, and we can talk Venus star point if we want to as well. But even just the fundamentals of understanding, even just as a type from a human design perspective, because I had that same kind of duality where it was like the generator side, where I've got this immense amount of energy
And work energy. They call it life
working.
force workforce. So you just like automatically are like, how can I work harder?
Yeah. So it's always like my default is, what do I do next? What's next? What can I do? What can I do to help other people? What can I do for me? Like it's all of the things.
Mm.
And then to find out that the moon rules my chart, which is also about receptivity, but then it had an opposition to my Venus. And to learn to kind of, and that's why I like talking about kind of the light and dark side of it too, because to find like that oppositeness in the chart was interesting to kind of lean into, especially with my Venus being in Scorpio and wanting to go into all the deep dark
But it's
things.
awareness. Like, I mean, look at how much you've learned. I mean, even just in like 6 months, like, you know, never mind the couple of years that we've been together and like, God, what I wish we would have known way back when, but it's always perfect timing, you know, and like to see the evolution based on going so deep into like, I wish we could gift all the young women in the world with the insights like, hey, your sun, moon, rising is here. This is your human design type, authority, and strategy.
Yeah.
Now go live your life. Like even just with that little bit of information, you could have a new perspective on the person you're to become in this lifetime and how to do it with more fun. Like
Exactly.
more fun.
It's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, you know, I would never want to go back and change anything.
I mean, I say I wouldn't, but
I know, but I
things
would. There are times when I would love to have a different perspective,
yeah,
so that I could cultivate the patience,
100%.
that time to just allow and not feel like I was always having to force
Or fix it.
or fix everything.
Like, fix everything. Like it's like you go through these crises in your life, and you're so, you know, your mind swirls the drain trying to figure out how can I get out of this situation? How can I get like it doesn't make space for the magic to say, hey, you know what? We can see you're really struggling right now. Like this is what happens. You know, you get to these really great places in your life and you're like, I got this thing figured out. And then, you know, because you're a person who's evolving and growing and expanding and curious and saying, yeah, give me more of this. Universe sends you the challenge to say, but can you handle this? Right. So it slams you with something that you just like didn't see coming out of left field. And you then freak out and don't know how to navigate it. And you go to default mode, which is back into like, how do I fix this? How do I work this? You go right into your head and you get out of your heart. Well, Venus sits in your heart. You know, like she's the cosmic heartbeat when we're looking at like the Venus star point and how that integrates into our own lives and all the things. But, you know, in short, like the more we can allow, like clean out some space of needing to figure or separate ourselves from the worry, from the fear, from the like needing to know the how, and allow more space for creativity, freedom, abundance. It's such an energetic shift. And I do think like the frequency of femininity becomes more magnetic when you just allow what's there to be and not need to always be trying to fix it, because that's not feminine.
Yeah. Yeah, I just want to almost let that just even sink in, even because I even need to hear it repeatedly
We
too.
all need to,
Right?
I need to hear it.
Yeah.
Like I'll get into deep conversations with my sweetie, and I'm all of a sudden like, oh my God. And I'm trying to like fix the things and, figure it all out. Meanwhile, I'm like, this is not even my job. Like, I don't want any part of this. Like,
Yeah.
bye.
Yeah. It's so interesting. I find too, like the more you're doing this and the more you see it, because I had the same thing happen yesterday. So we've been talking earlier in the day how Venus was moving out of Scorpio. So those last little things you still needed to kind of deal with. And I'm like, I'm good. I'm cruising until I open my email and find out that my teachable plan is rising by 205% if I want to keep it where it is. And I was like, ah. And that could have taken me out. It let
Like
me.
the
I
temperature rises,
right.
you're like,
I was all the things. I was angry. I was upset. All of the things. But that's one of the things you've gifted me with too is understanding. I'm an emotional generator.
but
That's
we
okay.
should, and feeling the feels like
Okay.
we're taught, don't feel angry,
Yeah.
don't feel rage, don't feel pissed off, don't feel, get back to bliss right away.
Right.
And yes, it's true, we should always be choosing for more like joyful living, but at the
For sure.
same time, that's an indicator to be like, for me, like, okay, I'm out of alignment
Yeah.
somewhere, because as a manifestor, if I feel angry, it's like, it's a sign. Okay, what is actually going on here?
Yeah.
And then what is in my control about it and what is not? And then the decision gets to be made about like, when you allow the feelings to be, that's feminine.
Mm-hmm.
Feelings create like an energetic magnetism. So from that feeling that you get, you begin to like, it's like you feel into the next step. But as you're feeling into it, like, okay, I feel like this right now. What would it feel like for me to be more in joy?
Yeah.
And then it's like the ideas can come to you because, and the creative ideas, not the strategic ideas, but the creative ideas,
That's
the
right.
ones you could have never imagined if you were in forced, closed,
Yeah.
really hardcore thinking. And as that happens, your energy changes, you lift a little bit, and when you lift a little bit, it calibrates differently.
Yeah.
Then the opportunities and experiences and people can start magnetizing towards you based on this new elevated frequency. But if you sit in the shit of it, which is what most of us do, is like, I'm angry now, I need to sit here
Yeah.
until I feel better,
Yeah.
because we forget we can choose to feel better in the moment, right? Because we feel like, I just need to sit and stew in this a little bit longer. And even your friend calls you up and is like, haha, telling you jokes and whatever. And you're like,
Yeah.
no, I
Yeah.
just need to be mad and sit in
Absolutely.
this.
And
So
sometimes you do
sometimes you do.
for whatever length of time you have to know you. So I did that last night too. My default is frustration. So once I hit that point, because my immediate reaction was, okay, I can fix this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And then I'm like, then I got frustrated. I'm like, no, I need to just shut it down and give it some space.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I made myself a cup of tea. I put
Yes.
on a podcast from our friend Laurel and listened to her talk about, being rebellious in a certain mature way that she was describing it. And I'm like, I got this. I'm just going to go to bed. Anything that needs to happen is going to happen. And I'll wake up with a new day tomorrow. I woke up this morning, I'm like, yeah, I know exactly what I'm going to do to fix this, this, and this. It's going to take me some time, but I
Yeah.
have this Mars retrograde to take full advantage of it. And I
Yeah. I
just
mean,
turned
so
it
like
into an
January.
opportunity to get more clear and just more concise about what I want to put out there. And I'm like, whatever, it is what it
100%.
is, but I'll make it
It'll
work.
force you to clean up things too. I mean, and you wouldn't have seen that in the moment. And
That's
this
right.
is where it's like, if you feel stuck, locked in a place, the best thing to do is like drop the thoughts around it and move. So go and move the issues out of your tissues. Let the emotions like get energy in motion. Go for a walk, go work out, go get creative, go do some writing, do whatever you need to do. That's the feminine way, is to create some space and allow the magic
Mm-hmm.
to like move you. But if you stay into like, I've got to sit here until I figure this out, it will never be easy. It will
Mm-hmm.
feel hard and you will feel angry or frustrated.
Or better.
Or
or whatever
bitter.
it is, right? So no, I don't want to keep you super long, but I think that's actually perfect where I think I want to close it out by like, how do you then integrate this? Because you still have your masculine energies and things that need to happen. And I'd love to give people some ideas of how you think it works for you, how you might feel about where we're going, but how people can start just giving themselves even permission to navigate that. I don't even know what the word is, for that balance, whatever it is they're trying to find. Like you can be both at the same time. And it's just almost, for me, I always picture like everything almost like a teeter-totter, masculine on one end, feminine on the other end. And you're just finding that way. And it's okay. It can, both are good. And there's certain times, whatever it is. For me, it's been tuning into moon cycles to find when is a more, and then other things, but when is a time that I'm more in this type of energy versus this, and that it's okay to kind of sit back and disappear for a while. Things will be okay out there.
Yeah. I mean, I will say, when you're motivated to do the things, that's your masculine being like, let's go get this thing done. And you allow it to be there when it's there. Like when you've got the energy to do the thing, go do the thing. But when you feel like you're tired, when you feel like you're coming up against the wall, you have to step away. And that's that balance of like knowing or feeling into, like, how do I feel today? This is always such a good indicator. How do I feel in this moment? What do I need right now to just like feel good? And maybe it's that I've got to take action to send this email because then I'm going to feel like the weight is off my shoulders so I can enjoy my tea.
Yeah.
And that's your feminine.
Yeah.
Like I've got to get dressed and put clothes on today. That's the masculine. But what I choose to put on can be more feminine.
I like that.
I've got to drive to this thing, and that's going to be the action piece of getting there. But how you let the drive go can be the feminine. Like I can put on a wicked podcast. I can, put the window down, let the wind blow through my hair. I can like put my favorite sunglasses on and let this be more joyful.
Yeah.
You can do both at the same time. And it doesn't need to be like this way or that way, or like, and same with men and women. Like we all carry all of this energy, regardless of your gender. This is the illusion, like, oh, well, if I'm more emotive, then I'm more feminine, or I'm more sensitive, or I'm more, whatever the thing is. But it's like, the truth is those emotions are really just guiding you, and you're attuned to it more than somebody else.
Yeah.
So use them to your advantage to help you make better decisions.
I love that. That's perfect. And that it's so unique for it. As you were saying that, I was thinking, I will be directing people to your website because I think there's so much that they can learn. Like you were saying before, just knowing sun, moon, rising, but even just your basic human design type. It's so liberating because you've always find in there so much permission to be who you really want to be. And that like everything that everybody's told you is bad about you is actually your gift.
Well, and this is the other thing I think too. There is a lot of information out there on all the things.
Yeah.
Who you choose to learn from makes a difference in how you receive it. How not only how you receive it, but how you integrate it. And I believe there's enough negative, hard language in the world that when you enter my space, you will not hear it in that way. Because I, as a Venus ruled person, want to find beauty in this world. I seek it. And, with the Sagittarius I have, it's visionary, it's expansive. It's like, it just wants things to be more playful and easy. That is like my mission in life, is like, how can we make this more creative, more fun, more beautiful, more balanced?
I love that. And that's why I am so attracted to you as well, with so much of where my energies flow and things like that. And I thought that was a perfect segue because I'd love to give you a chance to talk about some of the programs you've got coming up. Because I as you were talking about that, I was thinking of Badass Breakthrough, Black Sheep Style, because that was just perfect segue into that, because it just resonates beyond
when is it getting released, because we don't want to disappoint people. So as long as it gets released like within the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I'm going to put this together as quickly as I can. So probably before the end of the week, so we can get that out there. So
rolling our masculine.
Absolutely. Okay. got some
So
things to get done.
here's what you can, enjoy in my world right now. So I have the one thing that's the easiest way to just get in is the divine feminine frequency. And what that is a daily like voice love note from me into your Voxer, which is adult walkie talkies. It's so fun. It's an app you can download on your phone. And I drop the information for you that really helps you to see the feminine energy throughout the day ahead. So it's where the Venuses and the moon are. And I talk to you about how that energy could play out depending on where they are, how it could affect you, how it could show up for you in that day with like real life examples. So right away you get it and you're like, oh, okay, great. I can handle this day better knowing, right? And that's $11, 11 actually. And then I have the Badass Breakthrough, which I have not run for 3 years. And the last time I ran it, it's such a transformative program in general because it really puts you in your power and in the feminine way.
Yeah.
So it's like you're really owning your value, your worth, you're understanding your energy. We go through your human design, we go through your astrology, we look at, and this wasn't even there before.
Nope.
So I'm opening up new layers and levels all the time of the way you can look at your multi-dimensional, multi-conscious self to put it all together. This is part of being the celestial manifester, is like using the power of the stars to help initiate you into the next iteration of who you're becoming.
Absolutely.
This breakthrough, I really wanted to put a spin on it for multiple income streams and creating streams that support you in being the independent woman you want to be, but not independent in the way like you understand independence, but that you never have to compromise your integrity or your own desires because you don't have the money.
Yeah.
I want to show you ways that I've built different revenue streams or income streams, but looking specifically into your creativity, your chart to see like, where are you missing parts of how you could show up for your family, your clients, your whatever, all of the things. This isn't just about multiple revenue streams for your business. They can be in the home.
Right.
Like there's so many ways that this could work, but it's about putting you in your power in a really beautiful way that you feel at the end of it like, I am so ready to take on 2023.
Yeah.
Like it's like we're going to clean up this year. We're going to clean up this year. We're going to dust you off, shine you up, and send you on your way for like the brilliance of what's to come. Because we know like 2023 is going to be more intense energy astrologically than 2020, which is saying a lot and kind of like, it initiate like almost you feel a little scared about that when you hear that. But I think it's an opportunity for more expansion, more beauty, more abundance, as long as you focus in on your strengths of like your energy and you know how to like move in the world differently.
I love that. And I'll invite people to that, even if they don't have to understand all the words we're using when we're talking about certain placements and things like that. No, it's okay. I think, and I always tell people this too, like, even when I'm talking to them, like, don't get caught up in the words we're using, but how does it make you feel? Does it resonate? Does it make you a little excited? Does it make you scared? Whatever it is. And if it feels like might be interesting, try it out. The worst that'll happen is, maybe you won't like it, and that's okay.
You will not like it, but anyway.
And I can say from my perspective, that was the first program I ever did with you. You've added so many layers since then. I'm a totally different person than I was then. So I'm excited to do it again. And that's what I love, when you find somebody or some things that you resonate with, you can grow along with them.
It's about like, and this is so it's funny because I'm actually formulating a post for this today, but there's this beautiful like pocket. It's like the squish where you get into a situation where you're within proximity to somebody in their power.
Yeah.
And when you're in proximity to that person, it automatically initiates something within you to kind of match up to that frequency. it's like finding, whether it's Tracy, whether it's me, whether it's somebody else, whether it's all of us.
Yeah.
But I will say this, like having too many people, it's like it messes with your energy. So, really focusing on like a handful or a
Yeah.
couple, the people that you go to listen to the things that lift your energy up, will help you quickly calibrate.
Mhm.
If you spend more time in the energy of somebody who's in a higher frequency and is really in their power, your life changes. There's just no way, there's no way it can't happen.
Yeah.
It's
You,
like
you'll
through
just you
osmosis.
get it, you just come along for the ride. Like you energy always moves to the higher. So even if you don't feel that great, link arms
Show
with
up,
people
just
that
be
are
there.
feeling good and just come along for the ride and
Come
watch
along
how
for the
it
ride.
changes the way you feel.
You got
And you
it.
start opening up and go, oh.
Yeah, it's like something switches. Like it's like
Mm,
when you can feel that, it's like something is changing. I don't know
yeah,
what it is, but it just feels good.
it
Like
does.
we all just want to feel good. And for so long, and I know you and I have done the same thing, have suffered in the, like I say, when you get stuck in the shit of it, but
Mhm.
like you just get stuck in this mindset, and it's unfortunate because
Yeah,
it's time wasted when
yeah,
it could be time elevating into something so
absolutely.
much more. And in Sag season, with Jupiter, like the sky isn't
Yeah,
even the limit.
I love that. I think that's a really good place just to kind of put a pin in it right there because it's just boop, beautiful. Because I have a feeling you will be a repeat guest here. So there's always things going on in our world that are fun to share with people. And it was good. I always feel
Okay.
good after I spend time in your energy. So it's good. Sometimes I leave her really riled up to do things, and sometimes I leave pretty calm. It just depends on the day. I made a post about this, I think it was yesterday, that every person needs a good manifester in their life, especially as
Yeah.
a generator. Like I'm one of the ones, like we're the majority. We need people like you that are like, keep
Give me something to
pushing,
respond to.
keep pushing. It's just like it's good.
I love it.
So thank you so much for your time. We'll make sure we've got any links we need, all that kind of fun stuff. So, and we'll be good to go. Thank you so much for all your time. And
Thank
we'll talk
you.
again soon.